The elevator climbed silently. Desola Adeyemi stood still, tablet pressed against her chest, eyes fixed on the glowing red numbers as if they were counting down to something she could not yet name. Outside that elevator, Lagos was already awake. Drivers were honking impatiently on Amadu Bello Way. Office workers were rushing through security gates. Phones were ringing, deals were being chased, lives were moving. But inside that stainless steel box, Desola felt suspended between who she had been and who she was becoming. Floor 15, the elevator stopped. The doors opened, and just as Desola stepped out, polished heels meeting the cold marble floor of the insurance brokerage firm where she had spent nearly 2 decades building her name, she heard a voice. Not aloud, not from behind her, from somewhere deep inside. Is this all there is to my life? She froze. A junior staff member walked past her. Good morning, Ma. Desola forced a smile. Morning. Her fingers tightened around the tablet. Because the question did not disappear. It followed her. Past the reception, past the framed awards on the wall, past the smiling staff who saw her as the woman who had made it. General manager, boardroom voice, high performer. The woman who could close difficult accounts, calm angry clients, negotiate impossible renewals, and turn chaos into structure. But that morning, something felt different. It was not sadness. It was not tiredness. It was worse. It was the terrifying suspicion that she had spent years climbing a ladder only to arrive at a place where her soul could no longer breathe. And then her phone vibrated. A message from the managing director. Board presentation moved forward, 9 a.m. sharp, investors attending. Desola looked at the time, 8:46. 14 minutes to prove she was still the woman everyone thought she was. She inhaled deeply, straightened her jacket, and walked toward the boardroom. But the question walked with her. Is this all there is? By 9 a.m., Desola had become herself again, at least the version of herself the world understood. She stood at the head of the conference table, calm, composed, commanding. Behind her, charts glowed on the screen. Premium growth, client retention, risk portfolio analysis, renewal projections. Her team watched her with the quiet confidence of people who knew she rarely missed. Desola's voice was steady. Our corporate client segment grew by 18% this quarter, but the real risk is not growth. The risk is concentration. If we don't diversify our accounts, one major loss event could affect our margins. The investors listened. The managing director nodded. A younger executive looked to her AI note-taker to be sure it was working. Desola moved through the presentation like a woman born for pressure. She knew how to hold a room. She knew when to pause, when to smile, when to let the numbers speak. But beneath the polished delivery, something had begun to crack.
Her chest tightened. The room blurred for half a second, not enough for anyone to notice, but enough for Desola to hear it again. Is this all there is? She blinked, continued. Our recommendation is to restructure the renewal pipeline across 3 levels. Her voice did not shake. Her hands did not tremble. But inside, she was somewhere else. She was remembering her 45th birthday 2 weeks earlier. The congratulations. You've done so well, Desola. General manager before 50? Big woman. You are living the dream. And yet, that night, after everyone left, she had sat alone in her bedroom, staring at the untouched slice of cake on her dresser. Living the dream. Whose dream? The presentation ended. Applause filled the boardroom. The managing director smiled. Excellent, Desola, as always. She nodded. Thank you, sir. Then one of the investors leaned forward. Desola, have you ever considered leading the training arm of this company? You have the presence. You simplify complex financial matters very well. The room went quiet. Desola smiled professionally. We can discuss that if the company considers it strategic. But something inside her stirred. Training, teaching, impact. For one brief second, she saw herself not in a boardroom, but in front of women. Women like the widows she had spoken to at church. Women at her old school association who had asked her questions after her talk on savings. Women in small businesses who did not understand insurance, pensions, investments, or how to protect themselves financially. Then the managing director interrupted her thoughts. Good, let's move to the next agenda. And just like that, the door closed again. But Desola had heard something, not the question this time, a whisper. There is more. By 6:42 p.m., the office was almost empty. The cleaners had begun moving quietly through the corridors. Someone was laughing near the elevator. The city skyline outside Desola's window glittered like a life she was watching from behind glass. Her office was beautiful. Leather chair, mahogany desk, awards on the wall, a framed photograph of her children from years ago, a nameplate that read, Desola Adeyemi, General Manager. For years, that title had given her strength. Now, it felt like a costume. She sat down slowly, dropped her tablet on the desk, and pressed her clasped hands against her mouth. Then the tears came. Not loud, not dramatic, just the silent kind that comes when a woman has held herself together for too long. Her phone rang. She looked at the screen. Tomi, daughter. Desola wiped her face and answered, "Hello, my love." "Mummy, are you still at work?" "Yes, I'm rounding off." "You said that yesterday." Desola closed her eyes. "I know." There was a pause, then Tomi said, "Mummy, I need to ask you something." Desola sat up. "What is it, my love?" "Are you happy?" The question entered the room like a blade. Desola looked at the photo on her desk. Her children were younger there, smiling, before life became school fees, deadlines, aging parents, hospital visits, board meetings, and endless responsibility. "Why are you asking me that?" Desola whispered. "Because you sound tired all the time." Desola tried to laugh. "I'm just busy." "No, Mummy, you are not just busy." Silence. Then Tomi added, "Daddy called me." Desola's breath caught. Her ex-husband had not called Tomi in months. What did he want? "He said he wants to come to the house this weekend." Desola stood abruptly. "Why?" "He said he needs to talk to you. He said it's urgent." Desola's hand gripped the edge of the desk. Urgent. That word had ruined too many peaceful moments in her life. Before she could respond, another notification came in, a WhatsApp message from her younger brother. "Mama has been asking why you don't visit. She says success has taken you away from family." Desola stared at the message. Then another one dropped, from her sister-in-law. "You need to support the family meeting this month. Everyone knows you are doing well." Her chest tightened. At work, she was needed. At home, she was needed. In the family, she was needed. In church, she was needed. Everywhere she went, people came with bowls, empty bowls. And somehow, Desola had become the well. She looked again at the nameplate. General Manager. Then she whispered, "Who manages me?" The office lights flickered. A cleaner knocked. "Ma, sorry, we are closing this floor." Desola nodded. "I'm coming." But as she packed her things, she saw an old envelope sticking out from under a stack of files. She pulled it out. It was from 5 years earlier, a thank you note from a women's fellowship event where she had spoken about financial discipline. Inside, one line was underlined in blue ink. "Your talk gave me the courage to leave financial ignorance behind." Desola stared at the line. Her tears stopped. Something was forming, but before she could understand it, her phone rang again. Unknown number answered. "Hello?" A woman's trembling voice came through. "Good evening, Ma. Is this Mrs. Desola Adeyemi?" Yes? Ma, please, I got your number from someone at the church program. My husband died last month. The insurance company is refusing to pay. I don't know what to do. Desola did not speak. The woman continued, crying now. They said there was an exclusion. I don't even understand what that means. They are using big grammar. Please, Ma, someone said you explain these things. Desola slowly sat back down. The office suddenly felt less empty. What is your name? She asked gently. Mrs. Beasy. Beasy, listen to me carefully. Don't sign anything yet. On the other end, the woman exhaled, and for the first time that day, Desola felt awake. That night, Desola could not sleep. Her house was quiet, but her mind was crowded. Her daughter's question, her ex-husband's sudden return, her mother's disappointment, the widow's voice, the investor's comment, training, teaching, impact. At 1:17 a.m., Desola got out of bed, wrapped herself in her satin robe, and went to the dining table. She opened an old journal. For a long time, she stared at the blank page. Then she wrote, "What do I really want?" Her pen hovered. The answer did not come quickly, because for years, Desola had not allowed herself to want. She had allowed herself to provide, to achieve, to survive, to be excellent, to be respectable, to be strong. But want? That felt dangerous. She wrote again, "I want to help women understand money before life punishes them for what they were never taught." She paused. The sentence shook her. Then she wrote faster. Widows, single mothers, career women, market women, church women, women over 40 starting again, women afraid to ask questions, women who sign documents they don't understand, women who earn but don't own, women who save but don't invest, women who sacrifice everything and wake up empty. Her hand trembled. She had found language for the ache. Suddenly, there was a sound at the gate. Desola froze. A car engine. Headlights flashed through the curtains. Her phone rang. It was her ex-husband. She stared at the name. After all the years of distance, excuses, broken promises, and emotional debris, why tonight? She did not pick. The phone stopped. Then a message came in. "I'm outside. We need to talk. It's about the children." Desola's heart pounded. She looked toward the hallway. Tomi was asleep. Her son, Femi, was away at university. Why would Kunle come unannounced at this hour? Another message. "Open the gate, Desola. This cannot wait." Desola stood slowly. The journal remained open on the table. The sentence stared back at her. "Women who sacrifice everything and wake up empty." She walked to the window and pulled the curtain slightly. Kunle's car was parked outside, but he was not alone. There was a woman in the passenger seat. Desola stepped back. Her phone rang again. This time, she answered. Her voice was cold. "What do you want, Kunle?" His answer came low and urgent. "Desola, I made a mistake, and it may affect the children." The line went silent for 1 second. Then he said, "I used their names." Desola's blood turned cold. "What do you mean you used their names?" Kunle exhaled. "I need you to let me in." Desola looked at the journal, then at the gate, then back at the journal. For the first time in years, she did not rush to rescue anyone. "No," she said, and ended the call. Outside, the car remained there. Inside, Desola sat back down. She picked up her pen and wrote one more line. "I will no longer abandon myself to save people from their choices." But even as she wrote it, she knew morning would bring consequences. By 5:30 a.m., Desola had made a decision. Not a big one. Not the kind people announce with confidence. A small one.
the kind that changes everything quietly. She opened her phone and recorded a voice note, then deleted it. Recorded again, deleted again. At 6:02 a.m., she switched on her camera. Her face looked tired, but her eyes were clear. She spoke softly. "Hello, my name is Desola. For almost 20 years, I have worked in insurance brokerage, and I need to say something. Many women are not taught early enough. Loving your family does not mean leaving your financial future undocumented, unprotected, and misunderstood." She paused. Her heart was pounding. "Today, I want to talk about 3 documents every woman should understand before crisis comes." She posted it. No makeup, no perfect lighting, no brand plan, no content calendar. Just truth. Then she dropped the phone like it had burned her hand. For 30 minutes, nothing happened. Then 1 like, then 3, then a comment. "Ma, please talk about next of kin. My husband's family collected everything." Another comment. "I don't understand insurance at all. Please teach us." Another. "I needed this." Desola sat at the edge of her bed, staring. By noon, the video had been shared 76 times. By evening, 1,200 views. By the next morning, 9,000. Her office assistant entered her office carefully. "Ma, you are trending small." Desola looked up. "What?" The young woman smiled and turned her phone around. There was Desola's face, her tired, unfiltered face, speaking truth, shared by women's groups, church platforms, a Lagos mums group, old classmates. Then the managing director called. "Desola, come to my office." Her stomach dropped. When she entered, he did not ask her to sit. "I saw your video." Desola stood still. "Yes, sir." "You mentioned insurance companies in a way that can be misunderstood." "I spoke generally, sir." "You are a senior executive in this firm. You cannot go online speaking emotionally about financial matters without considering corporate implications." Desola's throat tightened. Emotionally. That word. The word used when women tell inconvenient truths. "I understand the concern," she said carefully. "Good. Take it down." Desola blinked. "Sir? Take it down. Today." She left his office with her heart racing. Back at her desk, her phone buzzed nonstop. Women were still commenting, still asking, still sharing stories. One message caught her eye. "My sister died because she didn't understand the policy she signed. Please don't stop teaching." Desola looked toward the managing director's office, then back at the phone. Her finger hovered over the delete button. For a moment, the old Desola returned, the one who obeyed, protected her position, managed reputation, stayed safe. Then another message came in, from Tomi. "Mummy, I watched your video. That sounded like you, the real you." Desola's finger moved away from delete, and for the first time in months, she smiled. The next few weeks moved like a storm. Desola posted every morning, short videos, plain explanations. What next of kin really means, why every woman needs an emergency folder, insurance terms nobody explains. Why is salary not financial security? What to ask before signing any policy? Women came, slowly at first, then all at once. Her follower count grew, then invitations came too. A church women's breakfast, a cooperative society webinar, a widow support group. A small company asked her to train female staff. Then a radio station called. But the more visible Desola became, the more her old life resisted. At work, whispers began. She wants to become an influencer now. General manager is doing motivational speaking. Maybe she wants to leave. Even her family was uncomfortable. Her mother called. "So now you are teaching women online, but you cannot come and sit with your family?" Desola sighed. "Mama, I will come on Saturday." "You'd better remember that family is also purpose." The words hit hard, because they were true, but not complete. That Saturday, Desola drove to the beach instead. She told no one. For the first time in years, she carried her old camera, a camera she had bought in her 30s, when she still believed she had hobbies, before targets, before responsibility, before respectability swallowed joy. The ocean stretched before her, gold under the setting sun. Desola raised the camera and looked through the lens. The world became quiet. For 1 hour, nobody needed her. Nobody asked for money. Nobody asked for advice. Nobody asked her to fix a crisis. She took pictures of waves, children running, women selling snacks, and footprints disappearing into wet sand. Then she turned the camera toward herself and whispered, "I am still here." Her phone rang. Kunle. She ignored it. It rang again. Then Tomi called. Desola answered immediately. "Mummy." Tomi's voice shook. "What happened?" "Daddy came to the house." Desola stood straight. "What?" "He said he needs my BVN for something urgent. I told him no. He got angry." Desola's entire body went cold. "Where is he now?" "He left. But Mummy, he said you are turning us against him." Desola closed her eyes. The waves roared behind her. Kunle had debts. She knew that now. She had discovered enough from old messages and careless hints to understand that he was in trouble. But asking for Tomi's BVN? No. This was no longer family drama. This was danger. "Tomi, listen to me," Desola said. "Do not give him any document. No ID, no bank details, nothing." "Mommy, what is going on?" Desola looked at the ocean. For years, she had protected her children from the truth. But silence was no longer protection. It was exposure. "I'll explain when I get home." As she ended the call, a message arrived from an unknown number. "Madam Desola, tell your husband to pay what he owes. Family people should not suffer for pride." Attached was a photo, her body gate. Desola's hand began to shake. The sunset suddenly looked like fire. 3 days later, Desola was still trying to understand how Kunle's debts had reached her doorstep when someone came to her office. Not a client, not staff, a woman, early 50s, tired eyes, colorful headscarf. She introduced herself as Mrs. Bisi, the widow from the phone call. Desola recognized the voice immediately. "Mrs. Bisi?" The woman held a brown envelope tightly. "Ma, I didn't know where else to go." Desola closed her office door. Bisi sat and began to cry before speaking. Her husband had died suddenly. The insurance policy he had been paying for years had a clause nobody explained. His brothers had already taken over his shop. The landlord was asking for rent. Her children were asking what would happen next. And now, the insurance company was saying the claim was not valid. Desola opened the documents, read, paused, read again. Then her face changed. "Who sold this policy to your husband?" Bisi pointed at the form. Desola looked at the broker's stamp. Her stomach dropped. It was her company. Not her department directly, but her company. The same company that had told her to take down her video. The same company that praised growth but ignored vulnerable clients who did not understand what they were signing. Desola felt anger rise in her chest. Not loud anger, clean anger, purpose anger. "Mrs. Bisi," she said carefully, "this policy was poorly explained to your husband. There may still be a way to challenge this." Bisi looked up. "Really?" "Yes." Bisi grabbed her hand. "God bless you, Ma." Desola looked at their hands. Something became clear. This was not content. This was not influence. This was not a side passion. This was a calling with paperwork, a calling with receipts, a calling that would disturb systems. That evening, Desola drafted an internal memo recommending that all client-facing insurance products include simplified explanation sheets in plain language, especially for life, health, and business protection policies. She sent it to the managing director. Subject line: urgent, client financial literacy and policy disclosure risk. 10 minutes later, he replied, noted, let's discuss before circulating further. The next morning, Desola arrived at work to find her system access restricted. At first, she thought it was a glitch. Then HR called. Ma, the MD would like to see you. Inside the MD's office, HR sat silently. The company lawyer was there too. Desola did not sit until invited. The managing director folded his hands. Desola, we need to discuss the conflict of interest. Her face remained calm, but inside, she knew. The war had started. They did not fire her. Not immediately. They were too polished for that. They called it an administrative review. Desola called it fear. For 2 weeks, she was removed from key meetings. Her team avoided eye contact. Some colleagues sent supportive messages privately, but said nothing publicly. One senior manager whispered in the corridor, Desola, just apologize. You have worked too hard to lose everything now. She smiled sadly. That is the problem. I have worked too hard to remain silent. At home, things were no easier. Kunle sent threatening messages. Her family accused her of exposing private matters by teaching women financial independence. One auntie said, all this women empowerment will make women disrespect men. Desola replied quietly, financial knowledge does not destroy homes. Financial abuse does. The room went silent. That night, Desola sat at her desk, laptop open, notebook beside her, sticky notes on the wall. Purpose, impact, freedom, fulfillment, a new chapter, a new legacy. She wrote the name at the top of a page, Midlife Money Freedom Initiative, then crossed it out. Too long. She wrote again, The Desolated Foundation. Too personal. She paused, then wrote, Women Live Free Initiative. She stared at it. Women live free. Not just earning, not just surviving. Free. Free to understand documents, free to ask questions, free to leave ignorance, free to rebuild after betrayal, free to start again after 40, free to own, free to choose. Her phone buzzed. Email from HR. You are invited to a disciplinary review scheduled for Friday at 10 a.m. She inhaled. Then another email came from a women's business network. Dear Mrs. Adeyemi, we watched your recent teaching and would like to invite you as keynote speaker for our annual Women's Finance Summit. Desola stared at both emails, one threatening her position, one calling her forward. Same day, same time, Friday, 10 a.m. She laughed softly, not because it was funny, because life had finally stopped whispering. It was forcing her to choose. On Friday morning, Desola dressed slowly. Black suit, gold earrings, calm face. She picked up 2 folders. One contained her response to HR, the other contained her keynote notes. Tommy stood by the door. Mummy, which one are you going to? Desola looked at her daughter, then smiled. The one that looks like my future. The hall was full. Women from banks, women from churches, women from markets, women from tech companies, women in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Some came in suits, some in Ankara, some with notebooks, some with pain. Desola stood backstage, listening to the host introduce her. Please welcome a woman who has spent almost 2 decades in insurance brokerage and is now leading a movement for women's financial education and freedom. Movement. The word frightened her. She still had no office, no major donors, no full team, no certainty. Only a message she could no longer bury. Her phone vibrated. A message from the managing director. You missed the disciplinary review. We will proceed accordingly. For 1 second, her old fear returned. Salary, status, reputation, security. Then another message came in, from BC. Ma, the company has agreed to reopen my claim. God bless you. Please teach more women. Desola closed her eyes. That was the answer. The host called her name. Mrs. Desola Adeyemi. Applause rose. Desola stepped onto the stage. The lights were bright. The room became still. She looked at the women before her, and for the first time in years, she did not feel empty. She began. My name is Desola Adeyemi. For many years, I thought success was proof that I was fulfilled. I had the title, the office, the salary, the respect. But after my 45th birthday, I stepped out of an elevator and heard myself ask a question I could no longer avoid. She paused. The audience leaned in. Is this all there is to my life? The room was silent. Desola continued. Today, I know the answer. No, there is more. But more is not always another promotion. Sometimes, more is the courage to use what you know to free someone else. A woman in the front row began to cry. Desola's voice strengthened. I have seen too many women work hard and remain financially vulnerable. Too many women sign what they do not understand. Too many women sacrifice their lives and wake up with no ownership, no documents, no protection, and no plan.
She looked across the room. This is why Women Live Free initiative begins today. The applause came like rain, not polite applause, recognition, release, something amazing. Within months, Desola resigned formally. The company tried to contain the story, but the story had already moved beyond them. Her online sessions grew into workshops. Workshops became community chapters. Community chapters became legal clinics, insurance literacy trainings, widow support sessions, pension education classes, emergency documentation drives, and financial confidence circles for women over 40. She partnered with lawyers, financial planners, churches, cooperatives, women-led businesses. She trained market women on basic record keeping. She helped widows understand claims. She taught salary earners about beneficiary forms. She showed midlife women how to rebuild financial identity after divorce, grief, job loss, and years of dependence. And slowly, the woman who once wondered if life had passed her by became the woman helping others begin again. One evening, after a full day of training, Desola stood alone in the empty hall. Chairs scattered, flip charts covered in notes. A banner behind her read, "Midlife is not the end, it is the rebirth." Tommy walked in quietly. "Mummy?" Desola turned. "You were powerful today." Desola smiled. "I was nervous." "I know," Tommy said, "but you looked free." Free. The word landed softly. Desola looked at the stage, at the lights, at the empty chairs that had held women's stories. Then she remembered the elevator, the cold metal walls, the red number 15, the question, "Is this all there is?" She smiled. "No," she whispered. And this time, the answer did not come as a whisper.
it came as a life. Some women do not break down because they are weak. They break open because the life inside them has outgrown the container they were living in. At 45, Desola did not lose herself. She heard herself. And once a woman hears the truth of her own life, there are only two choices: go back to sleep or rise. Desola rose. Do you think she did the right thing? Like, share, and follow for more stories from this channel.